Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. This is Regan and thanks for tuning back in to our channel. In today's video, I am going to do some side-by-side comparison of the new version of Iron Patriot Endgame and War Machine. I'll be showing all the War Machine figures, checking its size and height. Let us see if we can fit the full head sculpt of Don Cheadle to the other War Machine figure. So let's get started. Right, so starting off with the first version of Iron Patriot, as you can see right here that the size of the full head sculpt is a little bit bigger compared to the first version with the helmet on. Probably because of the scale of this helmet is the right scale for the body or for the armor of Iron Patriot. And then while this one is maybe the new version or maybe the right scale. So maybe before Hot Toys doesn't know yet what's the right scale. Maybe, we don't know, okay? But I would say they both look the same. They both look like Don Cheadle. And one more thing, the texture on this first version is a little bit stronger than this full head sculpt. I would say this one is a little bit smoother compared to this version, okay? And then one last thing that I noticed is the color tone, which is the full head sculpt is a little bit lighter compared to this first version. But I would say they both look the same. I mean, the sculpt, they both look like Don Cheadle or James Rhodes. Yeah, okay? There you go. So now let's try to attach this full head sculpt to the body of first version of Iron Patriot. It's really tight, guys. I would say it's really tight. Probably because the ball joint is a little bit bigger than the endgame version. There you go. So that's really tight, guys. So just be careful putting this head to this body. But I would say it looks good. You know, see? I think the scale is okay. Or maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, it looks big. Just maybe very, very minimal. There you go. So that's the articulation. And it's really, really tight. Okay? There you go. But before we move on, just to give you a tip, guys, if you're going to detach the head, and it is probably the head is a little bit loose now, or the joint, and that neck might gonna live there. So don't use any sharp material to remove that neck. So I suggest to use this one, gloves with some rubber materials. So just hold it really tight and then just pull. Unless your grip is really strong to pull that neck, then you're okay. But then if not, then try to use this one to avoid some damage on your figure, okay? But I cannot. I tried my best to really just pull it out just using the finger. No, it's not. So at least giving you an idea or just giving you a tip, use this. I usually use this one for electrical wiring here at home, or to grab some stuff, or especially my statues. Yeah, okay? Alright, so let's move on. And then next up right here is the head or the head sculpt from the Age of Ultron version War Machine. Okay? Same thing, I would say that the full head sculpt is a little bit bigger. The texture is the same. I would say it's exactly the same with the first version of Iron Patriot. But the color tone, I think it's somehow a little bit close. Just a little bit. I would say this one is a little bit lighter than the first version of Iron Patriot. Though you could still notice the color tone of the full head sculpt is still a little bit lighter. Okay? So now I'm gonna attach this full head sculpt to this Age of Ultron version of War Machine. Okay? There you go, guys. I would say it's really tight too. Yeah, if I'm going to move, yes, see? Yes, it is quite tight too. So almost the same tight as the Iron Patriot first version. See? but it looks okay. I mean, it's just that I cannot really hear any clicks, but it can fit. You know, you could fit it to this armor, so it's okay. But then the size, I think, it's okay, but it looks big. Is it? Just a little bit. I think it should be okay. Should be fine. Okay, so again, this is the War Machine Age of Ultron version. There you go. And next up right here is the head sculpt from the War Machine Mark 1. And I would say this one looks a little bit close, you know. I mean, the size, they're a little bit close compared to the other two versions that I've showed you guys. Yes, okay. And then the texture, I think it's almost the same with the first two versions. The texture of this War Machine Workman is a little bit stronger than the full head sculpt. Just a little bit, yeah. And then of course the color tone, I would say still lighter on the full head sculpt, while this War Machine Mark 1 version head sculpt still a bit darker, okay? Alright, so now let's try to attach this full head sculpt to this War Machine Mark 1 body or armor. So as you can hear, that looks good, but you can see that it's a little bit loose. It's okay, it could fit to the ball joint, but probably the, how do you call that, the holder is a little bit slim. I mean, like in the middle part of the joint is a little bit slim, so that's why it's a little bit loose. But I think it's okay. It could hold, I mean, some poses there. Yeah, so it's not really loose. And the size, I think it looks good, because the armor, this War Machine Mark 1 is a little bit bigger, a little bit bulky compared to the other two versions, which is the Iron Patriot and the War Machine Mark 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, looks good. It's just that it doesn't have the neck cover. Yeah, to, you know, to hide some parts of the neck, so at least it doesn't look like a long neck, you know, something like that. If you're planning to use this one to this armor, I think it's it fits perfectly, you know. So now let's move on. Then next up right here is the head sculpt from the War Machine Mark 3, or from the Civil War version. And as you can see right here, I think it's almost the same with the other versions. It's a little bit smaller, probably because of the helmet that attached, because helmet with the helmet on. And yeah, the skin texture, I would say the same. It's a little bit stronger, or the contrast of the paint is a little bit stronger compared to this full head sculpt. And of course, the color tone, I would say that the full head sculpt is still a little bit lighter compared to this War Machine Mark 3 version. So I'm not sure if you guys understand what I'm trying to say when I say the texture is a bit stronger, or the contrast of the paint is a little bit stronger to this head sculpt with the helmet on compared to the full head sculpt. So hopefully you guys could understand that. So anyway, let's move on. So I'm gonna attach this full head sculpt to the War Machine Mark 3 body or armor. Whoa, that is really easy, guys. I mean, like, look at that. So it's a little bit loose, so I would say that the ball joint of this War Machine Mark 3 is a little bit small. I think the smallest one, maybe. I'm not sure yet, so we will try the others. So yeah, but then, yeah, you could put something underneath the joint to make it tighter. But for the size, I think it looks great. It looks good. Yeah, if you're planning to attach the head, yeah, I mean, I think it's okay. You don't need to worry about the size, because same thing, this armor or this War Machine Mark 3 is quite bulky too, almost similar to the War Machine Mark 1. Yeah, but see, it's moving. Yeah, but then I tried earlier the plastic. Just put something underneath, like plastic. Wait, let me show you guys. So you could put a plastic, something like this. Just fold it, probably like 3 folds. and you could find some thicker plastic and attach it like this. You could hide it, see, so it's now not wobbling anymore, so it's quite tight now. I mean, like, yeah, okay, you could use other materials in case you have other ideas to make it tighter and with those holes. Then yeah, it's fine. I tried the papers, but it's not, it keeps tearing somehow. Yeah, but this one, the plastic, of course, it's more smoother to attach inside underneath. So yeah, there you go. Looks great, right? Bam. Amazing. And then next up right here is the head sculpt, or the head from the War Machine Mark IV, or from the Infinity War version. And as you can see, that's still the same. I mean, the size still small. I think if they change the nose, the eyes, and lips to a bit bigger scale, I think it would match to this full head sculpt of Endgame version. I think, but probably they're having a hard time to to do the right scale of this head, because I think this is their first time. Of course, yeah, this is their first time to make a full head sculpt, so that's why it's, well, they probably decide for sure. They probably decide like what's the right scale for this one, and maybe they check it. Maybe this is the right one, especially for that big armor of Endgame version. And then for the other head sculpt or other half head sculpt, it's a little bit small because with the helmet on. And the same thing, I think the color tone, yeah, I would say a little bit lighter, still a bit lighter on this full head sculpt. And then the texture still the same. Yeah, I think it's always the same. I mean, like all the head sculpt with the helmet on, I think the scale, I think only the smallest one is the War Machine Mark II, which is from the Age of Ultron, but the rest, I think almost the same scale, and texture and color tone are almost the same. Okay, so now let's try to attach this to the War Machine Mark IV armor or body. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, see, it's very easy. As you can see right there, it's wobbling. So what we're going to do now is put some plastic or whatever you have there, because plastic is I think the safest one. They usually use this one for protection, right? So I think this one, and again, smooth. There you go. So just hide the plastic. Perfect. See, it's not wobbling now. Right? So yeah, that is very cool right there. Okay, that's really cool. I think the size to this armor, because it's still new version, I mean like Infinity War version, so it's still new, still close to the end game. So yeah, wow, perfect. Okay, so now let's move on. And last but not the least is the head sculpt from the War Machine of the Endgame version. This one is almost close. Yeah, almost. Yeah, I think almost the same scale or same size with that War Machine from the Civil War, I think. Oh, no, the Mark 1. Yeah, Mark 1 version. This one is somehow like close to that size. Right? See right there? But again, the skin texture still strong on the head sculpt with the helmet on. Probably because of the color tone, because the color tone of this one is a little bit lighter, so that's why I think the texture also different, right? So but it's somehow it's close, almost close, and you can see even the eyes. This one is a little bit round and small. This one is a bit big. The nose on this one is a little bit sharper compared to this full head sculpt. Even the lips, right? But then again, this is the Endgame War Machine version. And just to let you know, I don't have the War Machine Mark II 1.0, which is the one from the Iron Man 3 movie. Yeah. Okay. There you go. check the size. And now let's attach this full head sculpt to the armor or body of War Machine Mark 5. There you go. Let's see. Up. Yeah. It's still loose. So yeah, I think the 3 version is quite loose. Those big armors compared to the first 2 version that I showed you guys, which is the Iron Patriot first version and the War Machine Mark 2. Those are, I mean, like the joint of those armor is quite big, so that's why it's really tight. But this one, yeah, the last 3 version of War Machine is a little bit loose, a little bit small. So I'm gonna use again the plastic right here, and then let's hide it. Let's try. Yeah, you could make a little bit bigger because this one is really loose. But let's see how it looks like. Yeah, see, it's not wobbling now. It's perfectly fine. Right there. Bam. Nice. Really cool, guys. I mean, like, of course, the scale, I think it's okay. It really matches to the armor, the body. Yeah, it's just that we don't have that extra neck cover or support, you know. But the articulation, I think it's fine. So what I'm going to do now is check their heights and scale. I'm gonna stand them together side by side. So I'm not gonna talk there, guys. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now, okay? So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.